What's up, everyone? John Rentier from Techno Buffalo here with an unboxing of the Droid Razr HD, the newest addition to the Droid Razr line. This guy brings better battery life, an HD screen, and all kinds of Android goodness under its Kevlar-backed phone. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so here is the Motorola Razr HD in all of its box glory before we get it all naked style. If you've ever seen a box for a previous Razr device, they can look pretty familiar, and that's not a bad thing. It's got kind of soft touch feel to it. We'll go ahead and slowly and seductively remove the packaging. Boom! We've got the Droid Razr HD branding right there. This guy's going to be available on October 18th for $200 with a 2-year contract, but if you're looking to buy, check around prices, because by the time you watch this video, that may have changed. And there we have the main attraction, the star of the show, the Droid Razr HD, just hanging out in its box. Not really doing much. Go ahead and pull it out for just a second. We've got all kinds of stuff that tells us what the buttons are, but we will check that out. Let's see what other kind of goodies we're going to have. Boom! Those are goodies. We've got a travel charger made in China. We've got a syncing cable, micro USB. I've got a SIM removal tool. Hang on to these. Things are great to use for other phones. Sometimes they don't always come with them, or you lose them like me. Some start here guides and other kind of business that probably not going to read. Alright, so let's take a look at the phone itself. It is going to ship with Android 4.0.4. But John, you're saying 4.1 is out. Why can't my brand new fancy phone have it? Well, Motorola is saying it will be coming soon. Of course, 4.1 is Jelly Bean. I'm going to go ahead and remove the screen protector and not pay attention to where stuff is, because I like to live by the seat of my pants, and we'll see if we can figure it out on our own. I'll go ahead and turn the power on, which lives right there. And while it is booting up, I'll run through all the specs of this guy. So from a dimension standpoint, it is 5.19 inches by 2.67 inches by 0.33 inches and weighs 5.15 ounces. I'm doing this to show you how light it is, but you can't tell. You don't have my hand. The display that we're looking at is a very pretty. So let this guy finish doing its boot up screen. Every Razr gets a crazy little eye boot up screen. This is one for the HD. Alright, so the screen here is 4.7 inches, always measured diagonally, with a resolution of 720 by 1280. And that is a 312 ppi Super AMOLED display. I'll run through the rest of the startups here, and I'll take you through the rest of the specs. Alright, so you got this gorgeous screen all ready to go. From a battery standpoint, it is a 2,530 milliamp hour battery. It's going to give you 7 hours of video and 20 hours of music, or 6 hours of LTE browsing. But if battery life is your thing, there is also a Razr HD Max with 2 X's, which are going to give you max battery life. Powering this guy is a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 dual-core 1.5 GHz processor, so that should give us plenty of speed. It's a very familiar processor in a lot of phones nowadays. Augmented with a gig of RAM and 16 gigs internal, but there is a micro card slot somewhere on here, which you can go ahead and up to storage under there. We'll take a look at that in a second. It's got an 8 megapixel camera on the back. It can shoot 1080p video, of course, LED flash. On the front, it's got a 1.3 megapixel sensor. Network, this is a CDMA phone and LTE, which is a GSM technology, so you got sort of both in there, meaning it's going to have a SIM card. Bluetooth, yep, it's got it. NFC, yep, also got it. It's got a Kevlar back, as we've seen with some of the other Razr designs here, which is kind of neat. It also makes it splash proof. When you hear Kevlar, I don't think it's going to work as a bulletproof vest, and I recommend trying it. But splash proof and all kinds of other resistance proof. So if you're prone to spilling juice on your phone, like I definitely have several times, this might be a good phone to look at. And of course, Gorilla Glass is protecting the screen. So looking at the phone, don't have any physical capacitive buttons. We've got the on-screen buttons that we saw introduced in Ice Cream Sandwich, and those are multitasking. We got nothing open there. Home button and back button, slightly redesigned to match Motorola's skin. So some cool things going on here. First, Chrome is the default web browser of choice, so you can download the regular Android browser if you choose. The circles is a very cool widget. You can add all kinds of new cities and information here, different type of clock stuff, battery information. You can always set all kinds of different things. It takes up a lot of real estate, but for me it's pretty much worth it. Then you've got all kinds of ways you can start with a template or blank pages, and the templates in the past have been kind of silly. They just sort of plunk in some apps, but you can see what they are here. For your mobile office, you've got your calendar right there. I prefer just to add my own, but there are options here. Quick setting options here as well. You can go ahead and set all that kind of business. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the apps that are going to come preloaded with the Razr HD. So we've got Kindle already installed on here. camera, email, files, help. We got Modern Combat 3, so if you want to get your combat on, that's going to come included. That's kind of a nice little addition. Let's go ahead and go back and see what else we're going to have. Continuing our tour of applications, we got a file management system on there, mobile hotspot, of course, NFL mobile, some setup wizard. Smart Actions is actually pretty neat. Motorola's added this to their phones. I'm going to walk us through it. Essentially, to let you do different things with your phone depending on locations. It's actually a really handy feature to have. So if you're always at home, you could set it to connect to Wi-Fi or disconnect Wi-Fi. It just does all kinds of neat personalization options there. My Verizon Mobile and all the Verizon stuff that comes standard, VCast and VZ Navigator, and the rest of that business. Then we've got the widgets, circle widgets, a couple other color widgets, some Motorola's added, and then you go to the standard Android. For the most part, Motorola lets Android be Android, which is something that I really appreciate. I love native, unadulterated Android. And I think Motorola and LG probably do the best job of sort of leaving it alone and letting it breathe and do its own thing. So let's take a quick tour of the rest of the device. On the left-hand side, that is where the SIM tray is going to be, and that's where the micro SD card slot is also going to live. We've got charging and syncing port, HDMI out. On the right-hand side, power and lock button. It's got a bit of a texture on it too, so you can really feel where it is, and a very well-pronounced volume rocker up and down for depending on what you want to do. We've got on the bottom some noise-canceling microphones. On the top, 3.5mm headset jack. Alright, so I promised I was going to see what was underneath this hood here, so let's go ahead and pop in that SIM removal tool and see what we got. We should have the SIM card and expansion storage, and that is exactly what we have in there. So there's where your micro SD card would go, and that's where your SIM card would live, and it is a micro SIM. Pop that back in. And we're off on our LTE way. So again, this guy is available October 18th, or probably be available by the time you watch this video. It's going to set you back about 200. That's how I say 200, because I'm cool like that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for a full review of the Droid Razr HD. I'm John Rettinger. Be sure to check us out at technobuffalo.com for the latest and greatest tech news, rumors, reports, and bad jokes. I'll see you in the next video.